Steven here. So today we're going to be looking at the individual shock suspension trucks on the Horizon and on the Z3. Supposedly these are the same exact trucks, but the Horizon, it carves like crazy. It is one of the best carving trucks I've ever had. And the Z3, it can't carve well. I have to use the binding. These two trucks are very identical, and I'm here to find out why. I would like to do a little experiment to really find out what exactly is going on here. So the first thing I did is I basically look at the truck structure, the front, the stems, the kingpin. These are all exactly the same. So not much difference between the arms, the basic general structure. But I did find what is a little bit different is actually this thing. Basically, this is what the bushings push against. If you notice, this thing is extremely huge on the Z3 versus the Horizon, it's extremely small. So basically there's less to push back against the bushings on the Horizon. And I think this is what's actually giving the Horizon more nimbleness, more agility, while this is huge and taller, and it gives the Z3 a little bit more stability. To give you a better representation of that, let's take a look from this side. This long block right here, this is basically to catch the screw coming from the board side. If you look up, you'll see the bushing is very far away from this block. Now, if we quickly swap to the Horizon, you'll see the bushing is extremely close to this piece of metal holding the rest of the truck to the board. That also means just this triangle is a little bit smaller. It is visibly, this whole triangle thing is bigger, especially here. If you see here, I can kind of fit my entire finger under just how much this thing is rising up. But if you go back here to the Horizon, I can't even put my nails under it. This thing is shorter and it's visibly smaller as well, with only the middle coming out a little bit, just a little bit. If you can see here, this thing is tiny. So I think this is primarily responsible for how well the board turns. So that's my primary suspect on why the board turns so well. Actually going to take out the kingpins on each of the truck, and I'm going to swap the trucks without swapping the base, because I think the base is the primary variable. If I swap these two trucks and the Z3 is still stable, that means my hypothesis is correct. So I just removed both trucks from the boards. One thing I did mention is this thing. So this is basically the thing that the bushings push on to get the turning angles. This is visibly shorter and smaller. I did point this out too, but this one on the Z3 is much bigger and much higher. So on the Z3 is 7/8 of an inch. On the Horizon, it is roughly 3/4 of an inch. Just 3 or 4 millimeters shorter on the Horizon, this thing, as compared to the Z3. And I do think this is what's contributing to the turning angles. The trucks are mostly the same. This is the one from the Z3, and this is the one from the Horizon. The only thing that I can see that's also visibly different are the bushings that's included. The bushings are, this one on the older bushings, it's less angled, as you can see here. If I put a ruler to it, the inner side, both of them are roughly about the same at roughly 1 1/8 of an inch. This one too, 1 1/8 of an inch. But on the longer side, this one comes out to be 1 inch, 1 1/2 inch. And this one comes out to be like 1 3/8. So this side of the bushings is a little bit longer on the Horizon, which helps it to push to different angles, while the bushings here on the Z3 is a little bit flatter. Cool, so I'm going to be swapping them out right now and then go out for a ride and test and see if the theory is true.
All right, okay, cool. So I just got back from testing. I got it completely figured out. This is the Horizon, and this is the Horizon using the Z3 truck. Also the Z3 bushings, I just kind of took it off of the Z3 and put it on here. My biggest complaint about the Z3 again is that while using this truck, it just doesn't turn. It doesn't like to turn. It's a super stable platform, but when I swapped it, nothing else changes. Directly transplanted from the Z3 to the Horizon, and now this board, the Horizon, super responsive, still super turny. I am at this point 100% sure that it's the reason that the Horizon is able to turn is not because of anything on the truck. It's not the structure of the truck. I'm even using blue springs here. These are much heavier bushings for a heavier person for stability, and it carves so well. The only variable that is different on these two trucks, on these two boards, is this thing. It's this. This is much taller. It's much wider. It pushes back against the board and gives you a lot more stability. On this board, what I mentioned before, on the Horizon, it is much smaller, and it gives the board a lot more wiggle room to go left and right. That's the only difference. So what I'm actually recommending is, if you want more stability, you should ask Acedeck to give you this bigger platform so that it gives you more stability. For the Horizon, if you want more turnability, if you want more agileness, you should get this. But I think mostly everybody, you should get the Horizon. I think Acedeck do sell these trucks, these trucks as separate assemblies on their website. If you're interested in getting them, in upgrading your skateboard, you should ask Acedeck which version it is, because the bigger it is, the more stable it is. The smaller it is, the more agile your board is. I prefer the one on the Horizon. It works so well, even for off-road where you need to turn. But if you want to go fast as fuck and you want stability, the one on the Z3 is actually really, really good. So I think what I'm actually going to do is to ask Acedeck whether if they can just send me one of these. Once I update this on the Z3, my Z3 is going to be super responsive too, super turny, and I want that for my Z3. Yeah, I figured it out. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, let me know. If you enjoy seeing my ugly face, also let me know, because usually I hide behind the camera and kind of like a B-roll type of video. But if you do like this type of live content as well, let me know down below, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.